Yeah, we are live. Hi, Royce Eddings here, the Royce in the House live podcast. Tonight we're going to be talking about residencies, why so many bands are establishing residencies at fixed locations and performing there over and over again, as opposed to touring the United States or the world, for that matter. So anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you. You know, we've got 100 and I think 95 or 96 videos available to be watched at any time now. And of course, this is our live podcast. It's basically our flagship. We have other playlists as well. We got the live podcast, the music podcast, which this is. We have tours of famous places, which is a lot of fun. We have Why We Love the Central Coast, Royce Construction, Royce and Betty Eddings, Navigators Real Estate. So we have multiple playlists. There's a lot of fun stuff in there. I mean, we cover all kinds of great locations, fun stuff. DJ Trish, how are you? Let me say hi to Trish. Okay, okay, yeah, no, it's a Super Bowl still playing right now. I think my timing is a little off here. Maybe I should have done this on Monday. But anyway, it's good to see you here. I really appreciate you showing up. And I want to encourage everyone that comes on to hit the like button so that the YouTube algorithm knows people like the content and will recommend the content to people searching for things to watch. So we've covered all kinds of stuff. Recently, we covered, musicians that ran afoul of the law and went to jail and were arrested. We covered the Fillmore East and that famous concert venue, the Fillmore East, at 68 through 71. It only went on for 3 years. And we covered Laurel Canyon. We covered Club CBGB as well as Cafe Wah in New York. And we've been hitting all these places that are famous for putting on shows shows that have stood the test of time that people are still talking about today. And boy, that is the Fillmore East and CBGB and Club Wah. They're all fantastic venues. Anyway, our Laurel Canyon video, a few months old, just hit 1,000+ views. It's doing very well. So anyway, thank you all very much. This is great. And it'll probably be sort of a shorter show tonight. We're going to be talking about, as I said, um, residencies, And it all started in 44 with Liberace in Las Vegas. Liberace, in 1944, he debuted in Las Vegas, and then nearly 10 years later, he came back, had his own show at the Riviera, which reportedly earned Mr. Showtime around $50,000 per week. Okay, after years of pursuing other projects in Los Angeles, he returned to Vegas, and then this is a big bump for him. Returned to Vegas residency and earned around $300,000 a week until he died of AIDS, sadly, in 1987. Okay, DJ Trish has got something she's saying here. I'd like to send you one of my mixes. Please email your address. My email is okay, Trish. Thank you. Will do. I will email you my address. And thanks for showing up. Like I said, this is one of the best Super Bowls I've ever watched, and it's not over and it's still on. I pushed the show back 30 minutes, but it wasn't near enough. But I will, Trish. I'll send you my email. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to hear your mix. Okay, so following Liberace and his $300,000 a week residency till he died of AIDS, we had Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack came in and established a residency. After that, it was Elvis Presley. In April '56, Presley began a 2-week concert residency at the New Frontier and Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. And I grew up just outside of Las Vegas. Hey, Angelo. God, good to see you, buddy. Thanks for showing up. I got to say hi to my buddy Angelo in the chat. God, great to see you, Angelo. Hello, Mr. Royce. Yeah, I appreciate it, buddy. You know what? I'm going to put a link up. And if anybody wants to jump on here and help me out and co-host, you're more than welcome to. Trish, Angelo, both of you. I mean, All right, guys. Angelo, Trish, I just put a link up, and either one of you or both of you are more than welcome to click on that link, and I'll bring you on the show, and you can join the fun here. Okay, so as I was saying, we're talking about residencies and why they're really getting huge, you know. And so it started with Liberace in Vegas. He left and went to LA for few years, came back and had a residency there until he died of AIDS, sadly, in 1987. After that, he was followed by Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack. And then Elvis came in. And Elvis came in '56, began a 2-week little concert residency at the New Frontier Hotel and Casino following the release of his self-titled album. Okay, his shows were poorly received because the conservative audience at the time, now this was mid 50s, they didn't like all the hip gyrations and all the movements he did. So as I said, his shows were poorly received by the conservative middle-aged hotel guests. And one of them, somebody wrote for Newsweek that like a jug of corn liquor at a champagne party. Okay, so it didn't go over big with the conservative guests at the time. Okay, so but things changed from '69 to '75. Elvis came back, had a residency there for 7 years. He performed 837 consecutive sold out shows at the Hilton in Las Vegas. 837 sold out shows. And my older brother, who was a crap dealer in Las Vegas, and his wife Joanne, they went to see him, you know. And Robin said, well, it was really more for Joanne. You know, guys didn't want to admit they wanted to go see Elvis, I guess. But he actually did admit that he did enjoy it, because we all loved Elvis. When we were kids, me and my younger brother Richie, Robin was 9 years older than me. But when we were kids, my dad took us to all the Elvis movies at the drive-in theater with as many of our friends as he could pack in. Paid everybody's way, bought everybody their popcorn, sodas, and candy. Always refused to take the money that their parents gave them to go. So anyway, my dad did a lot of cool stuff. But anyway, so Elvis came back and really took over, sold out 830 shows, which has since been renamed. The place where he played has since been, the Hilton was since renamed the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Okay, so the vice president of entertainment at Caesar's Palace explained that historically, Vegas residencies were more like a lost leader for the casinos. They set them up just to get people in to gamble. They didn't expect them to be, you know, big hits. But over time, that all changed, you know. And Vegas used to be known as a place where singers went to die. Here's a funny quip coming up that Cher made. Where they could earn a crust in their twilight years, entertaining tourists on the trip alongside magicians like David Copperfield, Siegfried and Roy. There used to be a certain element of cheesiness to this, to playing in Vegas. And he talked about Cher. Cher talked about and referred to it as an elephant graveyard where talent goes to die. And she was speaking of herself. I had to read that. I thought it was pretty funny. But okay, well, Celine Dion, she revitalized the residencies in the 21st century with the success of her A New Day residency from 2003 to 2007 initially. She introduced a new form of theatrical entertainment, a fusion of song, performance, art, innovative stagecraft, and state-of-the-art technology. She managed to popularize the Las Vegas residency in a desirable way. Top artists, way for top artists essentially to tour in place. And that's what a residency is. You're touring in place. You're not going all around the country. You're staying put, and people are having to fly in to see you. Of course, half the country, you get a free flight to Vegas because they want you to come and gamble. They're called junkets. I even once in a while get a free flight to, Laughlin, Nevada, which I live on the Central California coast, or Tahoe. Every couple of months they'll send me, and as you sit there playing a slot machine, everybody you talk to is flown in from back east. So people fly in to see these shows, and it really doesn't cost them that much to do it. And everybody loves Las Vegas anyway. So stars would would have never considered doing this if Celine Dion hadn't paved the way in the more modern times. She changed the face of modern Vegas, Dion returned to Vegas with her second residency, Celine, and performed her record-breaking 1,000th show. Celine Dion did 1,000 shows, record-breaking, in October 6, 2016. During the 2010s, many other major performers had followed and accepted residency. Oh man, Def Leppard, Aerosmith, all kinds of hip hop acts like Drake, Cardi B, just act after act. Everybody came in and did residencies. Benny and I personally saw Elton John's $1 Million Piano at the Forum at Caesar's Palace, and boy was that spectacular. I had seen Elton John as a teenager when I was, I think, 18 years old at the Las Vegas Convention Center where I grew up. But to see the $1 Million Piano, actually Caesars sent us free tickets to see it. There are no bad seats at the Forum. But you saw right away why they called it the $1 Million Piano. Massive screen on the stage behind Elton John. And what a band. There are three drummers. One of them was Congos, but two complete drum sets. Just an amazing band. And of course, Elton up front playing the piano. Massive screen behind him with a scene on it that tied into whatever song he was doing. If he was doing Rocket Man, a celestial scene would go across the screen in the back, but also it would go across the rim of the piano, which is why they called it the $1 Million Piano. That same scene played across the face of the piano that was playing on the big screen. And it was really quite spectacular, and really happy I got a chance to see that. And you can actually go on YouTube and Google Elton John $1 Million Piano videos, and there's a whole bunch of them, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I highly recommend everybody do that because it's great. Okay, so sorry, folks, just getting over a cold. So anyway, for decades, Las Vegas has been a central destination for concert residencies. Now, but that's all changed a bit because New York City has also grown into a residency destination. Now, I have to stop right here, and I have to give credit where credit's due. I'm not personally a Harry Styles fan. You know, he came from a boys band, which is okay. You know, there's a lot of popular boys bands. Harry Styles is probably one of the most popular entertainers anywhere. He just did 16 shows at one of the Forum, Kia Forum in Los Angeles. This was all in the last few months, and another 16 shows in New York at a Forum, and they were all sold out. He sold out 16 shows in both locations, and both those locations commemorated it by putting a big banner up in his honor. You know, and I think that is just that speaks to there are genres out there that some of us aren't paying enough attention to, because Harry Styles is killing it. You know, he really is. But anyway, I just had to put that out there. But in New York City, it's also grown as a residency destination. You've got beginning with Billy Joel, Madison Square Garden, American rock band Fish performed 13 shows at the same venue. Then you had Bruce Springsteen came in 2017, 2018 residency. Springsteen on September 2007 at the O2 Arena in London held 21. Prince shows from January to March. Louis Miguel played a run of 25 shows at the Auditorio Nacional in Mexico City. Michael Jackson had scheduled 50 concerts in 2009 at the O2 Arena in London. But unfortunately, Michael Jackson, actually, they had to cancel due to his death, but he had 50 shows scheduled at that arena in London. That's just amazing. Okay. The Mexican rock band Mana, M-A-N-A, signed a residency tour at the LA Forum in Los Angeles, Mana La Residencia, exclusively at the venue starting in March 2022. That was just last year. They'll continue to the end of the year or until ticket prices or ticket sales drop. So I think that was highly successful. So, okay, so as far as a box score is concerned, Celine Dion's residence at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace generated $681 million. Hey, Gloria, good to see you, Gloria. We're talking about residencies as opposed to concerts. And we just went through a whole bunch of them, how they started in Las Vegas with Liberace, and then it went to, Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack, then Elvis, and then Celine Dion brought it back big. And anyway, and Cher made some comment about once you play in Vegas, it's kind of cheesy, and it's like where aging stars go for to make a few crumbs before they die. And she was talking about herself, pretty much being funny, I guess. How you doing, Gloria? Good to see you. Thanks for showing up. I was watching the Super Bowl. I thought it was going to be over. I'd pushed the show back 30 minutes, but it was still on. And Kansas just got ahead, and I was really excited. But hey, the show must go on. I'm telling you. But I can tell there's a whole lot. Dan said he's got a Super Bowl party he's at. I'm not expecting too much tonight, to be honest with you. But I really appreciate you, Gloria and Angelo and DJ Trish, all of you that have stopped in. I do. I really do. I think my timing was a little off. My wife was saying, put it back, do it on Monday, or don't do it at all this week. No, the show must go on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so like where I was just saying, forever it was Las Vegas, but then New York came into the picture with Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, and then this O2 theater in London where Michael Jackson was going to perform 50 shows right before he died. Okay, but as far as box scores, who's making what kind of money on these past venues, Celine Dion's residency at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace actually generated $681 million. I think if I could do that at a residency, I wouldn't be packing trailers and running back and forth across the United States and all over Europe. Just stay put, go home to my bed every night. Okay, so anyway, one of the most successful residencies in history was Elvis. 636 consecutive shows at the Las Vegas Hilton from July 69 to December 76. The box score data of that residency is unavailable. Oh, man, I wanted to hear that. That's a show I said my older brother went to with his wife, Joanne. I was a little young. I mean, I loved Elvis as a kid. We had 45s of Elvis. My parents did when I was a little kid, and I had the Elvis album with the gold records all over it forever, until I finally started collecting albums again, and it was gone. But anyway, so we grew up with Elvis. We grew up watching all his movies with Dad at the drive-in theaters, and we liked Elvis. But I was a little on the young. I was a teenager when he was having his residency in Vegas. Doesn't mean I couldn't have went, but there was other kinds of music that had caught my attention at the time. It's already post-British invasion. We had all these badass bands from England and the United States too. I mean, we had Rolling Stones, we had Beatles, we had Led Zeppelin, and the Cream and Creedence Clearwater. And I'd kind of, that was the direction I was going in. So I wasn't real excited to go see Elvis, but I really wish now that I had every opportunity. I could have went with my brother the night he went. But anyway, following Celine Dion, Elton John has become the second most successful concert resident performer. And like I told you, I saw that residency, Elton John, the $1 Million Piano, at the Forum at Caesar's Palace. It was 4 or 5 years ago. Betty and I went, and it was just absolutely amazing. Okay, so Elton John became the second most successful concert resident performer. This was the Red Piano residency, grossed a reported $169 million between 2004 and 2009. But another top-selling residency was Britney Spears' Piece of Me, and that began December 13, ended December 2017, grossing over $137 million. Outside Las Vegas, Bruce Springsteen grossed $113 million with 236 shows of his New York residency, Springsteen on Broadway. Billy Joel grossed nearly $130 million with his monthly residency at Madison Square Garden 2014. So anyway, so I'm gonna take a minute here and let's see, what are we saying here, guys? Okay, the Bee Gees did one of their best shows at the MGM Grand in Vegas. Wow, I wished I would have seen that. Do you know what year that was? I always liked the Bee Gees. Absolutely. I'd like to know what year that was. I just want to know if I was around, because I grew up in Henderson, 9 miles outside of Vegas, and worked in Vegas and did everything in Vegas, really. But we considered ourselves to live in Vegas until we ran into the Vegas guys from the Vegas schools, and then it became pretty clear we weren't one of them. That's a whole nother show. Anyway, what I want to talk about is list of residencies that grossed over $100 million. Over $100 million. You would not catch me loading semis and packing up every night and taking off if I could do it. One place make $100 million. Okay, so, all right, so we're going to talk Celine Dion, $385 million. The Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. We have Elton John, the Red Piano, $169 million. We have $137 million for Britney Spears. We have $131 million for Elton John again, the $1 Million Piano. So Elton John did $213 million for the Red Piano, came back and did another $141 million for the $1 Million Piano. Then you had Billy Joel concert, Madison Square Garden, $140 million. Then you had Bruce Springsteen, $133 million. Springsteen on Broadway. Then you had Jennifer Lopez, $102 million. And that was at the Zappa Theater. And why are pop's biggest stars staying put for long residency? And as I mentioned before, Harry Styles is absolutely killing it. The most sold out venues ever in like both New York Forum and the LA Kia Forum. Most sold out shows in a row ever. And both of them honored him. Both cities honored him with a banner. And Harry Styles, I mean, you know, there's all kinds of genres. He's more of a pop rock genre. I don't actually have any of his music. I've listened to him on YouTube and on the radio and stuff like that. But he is just that's taken on a life of its own. Harry Styles is huge, and you got to take your hat off to him. I mean, you really do. Whether you're not a fan, you just have to take your hat off. Okay, so that was 1997. The Bee Gees in Vegas, right on. 1997. No, 97. Where was I in 97? Well, I was in the house I'm living in now. I moved to California in 71. And I moved to this property in 84. So yeah, 97. I mean, geez, my kids are almost grown. Maybe they were. I have to go back and look. Okay. So that was called Family Instability. Okay. Nice collection of guitars behind you. Do you play much? You know, I've played not, yeah, if you want to add the years I started at 12 years old, if you added it all up, there's a fair amount of playing. But the sad part is my younger brother, Richie, who might even be here before the night's over, he became a great musician in Las Vegas. He was 3 years younger than me, played in a lot of bands with the guys that were my friends, my age, all over the clubs. And then he finally got offered a job by Wayne Newton, Mr. Las Vegas himself. He was kind of the second coming of Elvis in a way. But he was very, very popular. Everybody liked, because he was Las Vegas's own. He grew up in Vegas. And so anyway, Wayne, my brother had a duo called the Eddings Duo, and they were getting written up in the Review Journal, which was a top paper, the biggest circulation in Las Vegas. And the guy that had the big entertainment section was named Forrest Duke, and Forrest Duke would write up, you know, Elvis, Frank Sinatra, the Rat Pack, you know, all these famous people, and he would mention my brother and his wife Jackie, the Eddings Duo, as a must-see duo. In fact, if you don't mind bearing with me for just a minute, I have one of his songs. This was years later. The band split up. Then years later, 10 years ago or so, my brother moved to Washington, where his ex-wife Jackie lived. Her husband got killed on a Harley Davidson, the Sturgis River Run, and she actually sold me his wrecked bike. But anyway, enough of that. And Richie was playing in a band with her, along with his son, who he taught how to play. So let me see if I can find this song, and if I can, I'll put it up and we'll see if we can hear it. I'm not making no guarantees here. Okay, video clips. Okay, music. Here we go. All right, Jackbone Dixie. I'll turn it up. Let me know. Somebody let me know if they can hear this. And I won't keep it playing if we can't hear it. My brother and his ex-wife Jackie and his son. my question is, can anybody? Oh, here's the volume. That's Jack. For the most amazing female host I've ever in my entire life. This was coming out of the wall. Amazing voice.
Don't want you to know my strife, but I will tell you, sweet darling, that I'm not letting it take over my life.
My brother playing the guitar and I'm playing bass.
For every good,
And now
there is a bad.
go back to the show. But let me know if you hear it. I'll come back in here and turn this off if it's not playing. Okay, can you guys hear that playing? Yes, I hear it. Can you still hear it? It sounds pretty low, Trey. Ziab, how you doing, buddy? Super Bowl must be over. Yeah, me and my wonderful timing here. Ziab, thank you for coming. I know everybody's watching the Super Bowl right now. I was up until I ran in here and looked up and the show had started. I had Okay, Trish, in answer to your question, I had played the guitar off and on my whole life. And probably one of my disappointments, and I'll take this to my grave, is having long gaps where I stop playing in between. And I mean some long gaps. Right now, I'm trying to play 3 to 5 days a week. And I'm loving this one right behind me here, my Jaguar. I always wanted a guitar. Being a surfer, they can surf green. And they keep them, they keep a tight control on it. If you buy a surf green guitar, you almost have to buy it used or buy a super high end one. And these are great surf tone guitars. You turn the reverb up, and you get all that great surf music, you know, Dick Dale and the Deltones, Ventures, and Chantays, and I'm working on some of that right now. Anyway, so I guess we can still hear this. AC just won. Yes, yes. I was watching when they won up 1 point, and then they were able to score a quick touchdown right after that, and the whole game they'd been behind. Maybe they were tied early. KC won. Awesome. That's great. Okay, we're gonna get back to concentrate on the show here a bit. Thank you, Gloria. I'm Norwegian. I don't watch Super Bowl. Okay, right on, brother. Yeah, you know, I don't watch a lot of football. I played it in high school, but that was a long time ago. I've been a big fan, but I have the hardest time in the world sitting 3 hours in front of the TV on Sunday and having another game start after that, and a night game and then one on Monday night. I just can't do it. I'm too busy. I took 3 tests between 2 yesterday and 1 today, and almost killed me renewing my real estate license. I've got 5 more to take in 5 days. And some of them you have to study 3 or 4 hours and they crack you on it. You know, like you can't get it. Anyway, you have to wait that long to take the test. If you fail the test twice, there's 13 tests. If you fail it twice, you have to start over again from test 1. So I've got to get through this last 4 or 5 or it's going to kill me. I can't start over again. My license expires on the 18th of this month. I'm running up against it. Okay, so anyway, Eddie's Physical Media, my brother Eddie. Hey, I want to tell everybody, Eddie's Physical Music, my friend Eddie, has an outstanding YouTube show. He plays the most badass music you're ever going to hear. You've got to check Eddie out and hit the notification bell so you'll know when he's coming on. You know, because I try to be consistent. 6:30 Sunday. Every once in a while, I got a couple of little side shows I'm going to throw in this coming week. One on a hoard of vinyl I was given that was taken out of a leaking storage shed. The covers are all stuck together and stuff all over the vinyl. And I tell you what, if it wasn't for Royce's magic vinyl cleaner, I don't know what I would have done. Anyway, so Eddie's got a great show. And I'm going to put a couple of shows on this week. I got a contest entry to do for CDB Vinyl. Enter a contest to support him and to help him build subscribers. And probably in a couple of weeks, I'll be running my own contest, looking for subscribers. And it's really cool because the vinyl community gets behind it, and that's awesome. We all try to support one another. We're not competing. We're friends. We're helping each other to do better, and that's what it's all about here. And I'm happy to help anybody. And Eddie's an awesome guy here. Okay, let's see. Thank you for the support, Eddie. Thank you for coming on. And thank you for the great music. I mean, you deserve support. Wow, thanks, buddy. Okay, Gloria, Super Bowl halftime was not what I was used to. And you know what, Gloria? I didn't, you know what? I kind of like Rihanna. I've seen some, music videos. There's some songs she's done that I like. It looked like she was pregnant. I don't know. I couldn't figure out what she was wearing. It was very odd. I mean, it was a big show. I mean, the platforms being held perfectly level, so people aren't falling off of and stuff. I mean, the logistics of all that was amazing. Last year, I started out not liking it too, but then to be honest with you, afterwards they switched to kind of a hip hop thing, and I actually did like that. Snoop Dogg was there, and a bunch of other guys, and I think 50 Cent was there, and I was always a bit of a fan. I got a lot of their music on my iTunes, the music videos in particular. Anyway, so Gloria, I didn't really care for it. I like some of the commercials better. I don't know what they're thinking. All they have is offer. I just don't get it. So anyway, okay. So what we were doing, we were talking about concert venues, not really concert venues, but we were talking about residency as opposed to concert venues, and all the money that was being made from coast to coast, New York, LA, and Harry Styles is something spectacular with sold-out shows on both ends of the coast, New York Forum and at the Kia Forum in LA, just phenomenal superstar. So anyway, so I was reading through what people were making. Celine Dion, 385 million. Celine Dion again, 296 million. Second residency, Elton John, 169 million. The red piano, 131 million at the $1 million piano, the show I got to see. Britney Spears, 137 million on her residency. Bruce Springsteen back in New York, Springsteen on Broadway, 113 million. Jennifer Lopez, 109 million. I mean, the list goes on and on. It stars these legacy acts, popular stars including Harry Styles, BTS, the Korean group, which was popular. They're lowering their bills. This is what's going on. They're lowering their costs of doing shows and still getting paid very, very well. And building hype as the tourist costs rise. So the tourists are spending all the money coming to see them now. Okay, on Saturday, Harry Styles will take stage at Madison Square Garden as part of a tour for his chart-topping new album, Harry Styles. So that's fresh there. Then next Sunday, he will play Madison Square Garden again. Next Monday, too. And another 12 times in September, Harry Styles will play Madison Square Garden. So he's just killing it, man. He's just a phenom, man. The entire North American leg of the singer's latest tour, which opened in Toronto this week, 42 shows in just 5 cities. So that's like 8 shows in each of 5 cities, or a combination, adding up to 42. Okay, so Styles' tour is the most prominent example of a bubbling trend of concert residencies extending their runs by artists in a limited number of cities and venues, and a rebounding tourist market with concert-starved audiences buying tickets in record numbers at higher prices than ever before. And we've all heard those stories of Bruce Springsteen and John Lennon. I'm sorry, Paul McCartney. These bookings are deliberate choices by prominent artists to reduce their time on the road and set up shop far fewer places than they would on a traditional tour. I think it's smart. I think it's really smart. Besides Styles' high-profile residency has been completed recently, another one has been completed recently by K-pop, BTS, and the Mexican rock band Mania, which has booked 12 dates since March at the Forum. Okay, the group's only performed in the United States all year in Las Vegas, the place they arguably birthed the residency format. Okay, Adele will begin a 32-day weekend engagement at Caesar's Palace in November. 32 dates. Okay. Katy Perry, Miranda Lambert also have dates lined up for the fall. We thought doing a whole tour would be really challenging, maybe impossible, given all the lyrics, said Tua Oliveira, the lead singer of Mana. We thought doing a whole tour would be really challenging, maybe impossible. Okay. According to talent agents and industry observers, the reasons include clever branding, the protection of artists and crews in the pandemic, and a co-calculation of financial conditions. You can see that for sure. Leave the equipment on walk back and play the next day. Okay, more concerts in fewer cities means fewer trucks on the road and lower bills all around. Those financial advantages are keys at a time when gas prices are high and the concert world must deal with the same supply chain problems that have hit other businesses. I gotta let my dog out. She's whining at my door. Come on. Okay, so back to residencies. Let's see. Okay, Gloria, Super Bowl halftime. Yeah, not what I was going to do either. Yeah, thanks. Okay. So anyway, so as I was saying, all these businesses are getting lots of supply chain problems and stuff. If people are happy to do residencies, numerous shows at the same venue. People are traveling to see them and they're selling them out. My God, I saw Alice Cooper in April. My heard the seats were empty. You know, Alice Cooper, are you kidding me? It's a small venue. Okay, a destination for fans. A straight lyric in a Harry Styles song, Falling, radically changed the clientele importance of Beechwood Cafe, a cheerful spot with all-day menu in Los Angeles. Okay, Styles Fashion Stylers, as a pop artist fans are called. They're called Styles Fashion Stylers, Harry Styles fans. That's cute. They love to dress in homage to their idol. Here are some of the best looks seen at the concert. It opens up with a solo debut, slippery in conversation. Like, okay, I'm going to skip on down. Anyway, so this is what we're doing. There's so much here, but you know what? I'm not going to go through it all. We've all kind of got the gist. I mean, people are staying put in these residencies. And I think it's a great idea. And you know, it wasn't that many years ago, maybe 8 to 10, when Steve Wynn, who owns the Wynn Casino, the Wynn and the Encore, he built so many different casinos, Treasure Island, so many. I can't think of all the names right now. But he went public with his casinos, and there was a hostile buyout. And he lost all his casinos. He walked away with billions of dollars. You know, he had to pay fair market value. And then he built the Wynn and the Encore. They're side by side. They're absolutely beautiful. And he says they'll never go public again. They will stay private. Anyway, so far off. He hired Garth Brooks about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and to be just a solo act. It was very, very successful. Garth Brooks was there for a long time. And that was a big resident that you don't really think about. But anyway, so okay. So anyway, so let's move on here. So that's residencies, and that's what's going on with the residencies and why they're so popular. And again, started out in Las Vegas with Liberace. I remember him as a little kid living back then. Liberace started, actually before. But he had a couple of different residencies. The second one was later. And he was getting paid, like he was getting these $300,000 a show. Of course, Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack came in. Elvis came in. And then Celine Dion came in for a little while. Elvis came in for a little while. Elvis came back huge, like 650 or 8 million worth. Celine Dion was huge. 2 long-term residencies. Elton John, Rod Stewart. I mean, the list is just endless. With these residencies. In fact, I got carried away watching the Super Bowl. I had a list of 23 residencies. And if you guys don't mind bearing with me for just a second, I think I could get that printed out. So I'm sorry, but bear with me. But I would like to read that so you know who's coming up. Okay. Maker of my own world, my younger brother and his ex-wife and their son on bass. I think that's fantastic. Okay, I'm printing it. I'm printing it. Okay, thank you all for putting up with me. Like I said, this whole Super Bowl thing has kind of got me thrown out of kilter just a little bit. I promise to do better in the future. But I do appreciate everybody that's coming to support. I do have a list now of the 2023 residencies, and I think this list is I believe it's all Las Vegas. I'm going to read through this list right now. We have Luke Bryan, country star, one of the biggest, at times the biggest country star, Luke Bryan. World Resorts, the theater at World Resorts, starts in April 2023. We have the Jonas Brothers, and who didn't enjoy Nick Jonas on show with Blake Shelton? Jonas Brothers, Dolby Live, Park MGM, starting in February. We have Katy Perry playing at the Theater Resorts World Dates, starting in April of this year. Maroon 5 at the MGM starting in March of this year. Maroon 5, they're good. I've got some Maroon 5 CDs. Carrie Underwood, she's fantastic. Her and Brad Paisley did, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 country award shows in a row. They were always in it. I like them both. Brad Paisley is a phenomenal guitar player. Carrie Underwood's great voice. And together they're really good. Rod Stewart, I've seen Rod Stewart live, Santa Barbara Bowl. He seems to come about twice a year at the Santa Barbara Bowl, which is a 2-hour drive for us. It's just a little concrete bowl with concrete steps going up. And I wouldn't say there are any really bad seats there. The funny thing is, when Rod Stewart was there, when we saw him, Betty and I, he had broke his foot playing soccer, and he had a cast on his foot. He really wasn't supposed to be walking, but he couldn't help himself. So this big white cast on his ankle and foot, and he was kind of stomping around trying to still dance and boogie and stuff on stage while he was singing. And I heard the next few shows he had to sit down, and I was so mad after doing that night. But we appreciate you, Rod. We've always liked Rod Stewart. Miranda Lambert, country star, she's going to be playing at the Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood, starting in March. An intimate evening with Carlos Santana. I missed him at our Paso Robles Fair this year, and that was a total bucket list thing. I have loved Santana since his performance in Soul Sacrifice and Woodstock in '69. He is one of my favorite artists of all time, Carlos Santana. I love that guy. That tone he gets is so sweet. Okay, so I'm not going to miss that opportunity again. So an intimate evening with Carlos Santana is going to be at the House of Blues at the Mandalay Bay, January 2nd. Maybe there's an opportunity there. We'll see. Keith Urban, again, like Brad Paisley, I think they're two of the best guitar players in all the country. Keith Urban's fantastic. Okay. He's also going to be playing at the Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood. Correct dates March and July. Then, Barry Manilow, International Theater, Westgate date through 2023. Am I thinking of the wrong person? No, Barry Manilow is on the list. But, hey, enough of that. Jeff Davidson. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy? We've been reviewing all these residencies and why the musicians are preferring to stay put instead of traveling all over the place. So anyway, hi Jeff. I want to thank you very much for joining us. I really appreciate you. And you know what? I'm going to put another link up. And please, anybody, Gloria, Jeff, Eddie, physical media, anybody want to hop on for a little while and keep us company up here? It's lonely up here, you know. Just get this link I'm putting up right now, and please just hop on. You're all welcome. 4, 5, 6 of you. I don't care. The link is up. Anybody want to come on? Hit the link, and I'll bring you on. Okay. All right. And if you don't want to, that's okay. Not everybody's prepared to do that when they come to watch. I know sometimes I come to watch and somebody puts a link up and I look down. Oh hell, I can't do that. I ain't ready. But anyway, so Keith Urban, fantastic musician, great guitar player. Barry Manilow. I don't even want to say this out loud, but Barry Manilow just passed away just this past week. Am I way off base? Donny Osmond. Who didn't like the Osmond line? I mean, you know, I was listening to Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath, so I can't say I was a huge fan. But I did respect him. And Donny and Marie Osmond were great together. And, you know, my parents, honest to God, I told you about my younger brother Richie, whose band is playing at the speak. Him and his wife, band. My parents were 100% sure they were going to be the next Donny and Marie Osmond. I mean, that's how well they were doing in my opinion. Okay, honey. This time I'm really going to shut the door. Thank you. Okay, so last time I didn't actually latch the door. Okay, so Donny and Marie, that would actually be fun to watch for nostalgia. Okay, Wayne Newton up close and personal. Wayne Newton invited my younger brother Richie to join his band as a guitar player. That's how, you know, prominent a player my brother had become. Very talented. And my brother and his wife had that band I told you about. And his wife Jackie, and all of the entertainment columns, the best newspapers, prominent, entertainment writers. And he declined because he said, "Well, what about my wife?" I said, "Well, we don't need another female singer right now, but we could probably add her later." And so my brother their band was doing so well, they're doing it now. Anyway, Sting, my song, Sting is going to have a residency in the Coliseum. Now that would be fantastic. Then we've got The Weekend with Adele. Sting will be select dates in April, yet to be determined. Adele would be playing also at the Coliseum in Las Vegas. And there'll be select dates through February, so she'll probably be playing now. It's February. Another one that I'd like to see that I don't know any of his music, but every song that I hear, I like. Different for my taste, but my taste is really varied, to be honest with you. But that's Bruno Mars. I actually really like Bruno Mars. And he's got the partner he does a lot of stuff with now. And the two of them are great. I like those guys. I need to get some Bruno Mars. I know Jeff knows who the partner is. He plays a lot. Caitlin! Hey, Kate! Thanks for showing up. We've been talking all night about Residencies, how it all got started. Right now I'm reading a list of current residencies in Vegas 2023. And I got down to Sting, Weekend, Caesars at the Coliseum in April. Adele, Weekends with Adele, Caesars Palace date through February. Bruno Mars is going to be at the Park MGM. Yeah, that's where my oldest daughter got married with years ago. And that's really a nice thing. So Usher is coming to the Dolby Live Theater, Park MGM again. Select dates February and March. Foreigner, that's a great rock band. they're coming to the Venetian Theater, the Venetian dates, March and April. And Garth Brooks is coming back to the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. Select dates May through December. So we've got a lot of residencies coming up, you know, and people are really making money at them. They're limiting their own travel time. The fans are having to travel to them. They're still selling out their shows. So it's really an up and coming thing, you know. Growing up in Vegas, there was always the Residencies. You know, Elvis was there, and the Rat Pack was there, Sleepy John was there. It just went on and on. There was always somebody getting a residency there. There's another one, I can't think of her name. One woman that played forever back there. His name was on Lights on the biggest building. Anyway, so how's everybody doing tonight? Did anybody feeling good about the Super Bowl? Okay, Jeff can't hear very good over the music. Thank you, Jeff. I left that up too long for too loud. It's not real loud here, but I think we've probably heard enough of it. So, all right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you letting me know. That was my younger brother, his ex-wife Jackie, who had the Eddings Duo in Vegas and was offered a job by Wayne Newton, along with my brother's son Richie, who actually started that particular band, and a couple of other people. Okay, well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate you letting me know that. And again, Jeff, Caitlin, I just put a link up. Trish, anybody want to hit that link and come on? Just do so. Hey, Michael. Michael, thank you very much for joining us. We just got through covering residencies and all the bands. I just read a list of all the bands that are doing residencies in Vegas so far for 2023. And we started out with the first residency in Las Vegas, which was our old friend Liberace. And then it went to the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, then to Elvis. Then Liberace left for a long time, went to LA, came back and did a huge residency. Elvis left, came back, did a huge residency. And here we have my friend Caitlin. How you doing, Caitlin?
Oh, I'm good. You know, I figure I can multitask and talk to you while I'm picking up. So I'm glad you brought up a residency, my friend, because I've been doing a couple stories at work about it, about a couple of bands having residencies in Vegas.
Right.
And the biggest one that I've written about was definitely Santana, which I think is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Personally, and what I like about it is the fact that the show, first off, hi, guys. Hi. You never see you on here. Hi. Second of all, I know, right?
Thanks for joining us. I've been trying to talk somebody into join us all night.
Well,
yeah.
Well, you said we could join if we wanted to. So here I am, being the friend that I am, multitasking and doing this.
Absolutely.
So, but anyway, all I'm saying is that the Santana concert actually is for a good cause, because a lot of the proceeds from the tickets go to his foundation.
Oh, okay.
That he and his whatever, Jeff, I'm not talking about. What he and his family, a foundation they created to help children who are suffering around the world. So a lot of the ticket proceeds will be going to that.
You know, okay, cool. Michael Chavez has got a comment up about Bruno Mars and Silk Sonic. Thank you for.
Oh yeah.
I really like those guys. I really like their sound.
Oh yeah.
I did not read them on the list. They had been there. They had a residency there. Hold on. Let me take, no, Bruno Mars.
Yeah, go for it. Talk yourself up.
Mars, dates through March.
I'm just do your thing. I'm listening.
Dates through March. So yes, they are still there. Thank you, Michael.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it up, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Silk Sonic. They bring back like the old school soul.
Yeah, no, I like it, and I love the old school soul.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
67-ish. That's about all I was listening to, me and my friends, you know. And then the Cream Disraeli Gears came out, and Creedence Clearwater, and then my musical taste spun in a completely different direction for the upteenth time, you know.
I got you. Yeah.
And that's what happens. I mean, it just, you know, you get the British invasion, and that's crazy, and then it just
totally
more there, you know. And then that kind of fades, and you get into soul. I have an album called Soul Station by
Oh my gosh, don't get me started with that. Oh my gosh.
Kiss's
That's
frontman
great
Paul
stuff, I
Stanley.
tell you. Paul Stanley.
Paul Stanley, in an interview, claimed that he put together all what he considered to be the best musicians. He called them all and asked them if they wanted to do a soul project with him, and every single one of them said yes. Even Eric Singer, the drummer from Kiss, is the drummer in
Yep.
that band. But they did a show someplace, but they never did an album. So now they came out and did that album. It's been about a year now, and it's a 2-album set, purple splattered vinyl, absolutely beautiful, and it's such a terrific album. Before I was doing live podcasts, I did a soul unboxing because I love soul music so much. And the finale, I was calling a surprise. I don't call it a surprise anymore. Now it's my thumbnail for the show. But it was Paul Stanley's band, the album Soul Station. And they asked Paul Stanley, they go, Paul Stanley in an interview, frontman for Kiss, a soul album? What's up with that? And he goes, well, you have to remember, before there was Kiss, I was the biggest soul fan ever. He started naming all these bands, Otis Redding, Temptations, Marvin Gaye, all my favorites, and he saw them all live. He said he was a huge soul fan long before there was a Kiss, and he's still a soul
That's
fan.
true. Yeah.
So I was really impressed when he said that.
Yeah, no, I wasn't disappointed. In fact, when Paul Stanley decided to do Soul Station, I was actually really impressed because
Yeah, me too.
yeah, it's like, I know his musical roots, and when I hear that he was going back soul, I'm like, oh, this is genius. It was a no-brainer for me. I'm like, oh, gotta watch this.
Well,
Gotta watch
my
Paul
favorite
doing what he does.
my favorite
sorry?
part of the Grammys was the soul part when they were honoring, Smokey Robinson and
Oh, sure.
Stevie
Absolutely.
Wonder. I was a huge fan of Stevie Wonder's. All his like mid-60s stuff and everything was just fantastic. And since then, he opened for the Rolling Stones. My first Stones concert at the Long Beach Arena in 1972. Stevie Wonder opened for him. And the crowd was so crazy waiting for the Stones. They kind of showed Stevie not a whole lot of respect. They were loud and milling around, and they wouldn't sit down and just, I was, because I dug him. But he finally played 7 or 8 songs and said, hey, I'm going to get out of here and let you hear the band you came to hear, the Rolling Stones. And then they dimmed the lights, and they acted like the whole concert was like would normally be. But anyway, I was disappointed in that. And every time I do any kind of a show about the Rolling Stones, I start by unboxing some Stevie Wonder just to pay him back for that happening.
Yeah.
Pay my respects for him not being treated real well. But anyway, so that was my favorite part of that show, was seeing Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson wrote thousands of songs, hundreds of hit songs. He wrote My Girl for the Temptations, their biggest hit. My Guy for Mary Wells, which was also a big hit. He must have wrote at least half the Temptations songs, if not more. He really put a lot of good hits out for them. Anyway, so Tears of a Clown was his big hit, but I love soul music too. But anyway, getting back to venues, we've got the concerts, and then we've got the residencies, and they're both working very well. And the people are really happy about them, I mean, some of them do 15, 16, 25 shows in the same spot and sell them out. In the case of Harry Styles, selling them out.
Dude, speaking of residency, Mickey Dolenz is doing the residency in Utah at a casino late spring.
Utah has casinos?
Apparently.
So as long as I can remember.
Mickey Dolenz will be bringing the monkey tour as a residency to the casino. So it's got to be like from June through November. So he's going to be in Utah for a while.
The last I knew, Utah was even a dry state. You couldn't even buy alcohol there.
All I know about Utah is that my parents drove. When I traveled with my family, we drove through it. So I'm like, that's all I know about.
Well, I grew up in Henderson, Nevada, and Utah was, kind of where the Mormons settled when they left back east, and that's why it was a dry state for so long.
Yeah.
Even though half my neighbors and half or better of my friends growing up were Mormons, and they all did everything everybody else was doing. They were great people. My next door neighbor, Dave Larson, loved that guy. Took us fishing, took us hunting, took us out on his boat on Lake Mead, which was 9 miles away, the largest man-made lake in the world at one time. Finally beat out by a lake in Russia. Anyway, they were all great people, but they all came down to Las Vegas to work. and because there was always jobs there, much better than up in Utah. But it was they all loved Utah. They all wanted to go back. It's like a sportsman's paradise.
Sorry.
If you fish and hunt and stuff. But anyway, so the last I heard, it was a dry state, but that all changes. The Indians their tribes get recognized. They buy their tribal lands. They're their own nation within a nation. They do whatever they want. I've got friends that are still trying to get the Slinian Indians recognized so that they can buy their tribal lands and build a casino. I have personal friends that are involved in that. And so far it hasn't happened, and it may not happen, But the Chumash Indians have done really well. They've got an absolutely beautiful casino, top notch, a little over an hour away from us. And we got another one in the other direction, another band of Indians, another 45 minutes away on a big, beautiful casino up near Yosemite. Anyway, so yeah, it wouldn't be hard for them to have a casino in Utah. The Indians, if they were able to get recognized and bought their tribal lands, they can do whatever they want. So you're probably right. So anyway, folks, let's see. I think we're running up on our time here. Caitlin,
I think so.
So you were covering some residencies. You didn't tell us whose they were.
Yeah, just Santana for now. I've been covering a lot of I've been getting a lot of stories lately about like co-headlining tours.
Okay.
Which sound really good, to be honest.
Right.
It's not going to be anywhere in my area except for Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. They're the only ones that are going to be remotely close to me.
Gotcha. Okay, well, listen, folks. I want to thank everybody that joined us and participated. You're all appreciated. Bad timing on my part, starting the show when the Super Bowl was still going. I was watching it myself, so give you an idea how much time I prepared. But anyway, I had fun doing it. And I think the residency thing was a lot of fun to go through. And I appreciate everybody joining us. Caitlin, I appreciate you coming on. I'm trying to limit my shows to an hour again. They started creeping up and getting close to an hour and a half again. And that just a lot of people don't watch shows that long. They're just too long. I mean, you look at like my good friend Michael Nolan, The Bottom Line, anywhere from 12 to 18 minutes, and he gets, I don't have to tell you, he does very, very well. That's the length of a show that people can watch and not feel like it's cutting into everything else they're supposed to be doing.
Sure.
So anyway, I have a hard time watching a lot of shows during the week. I mean, I'm studying for this real estate license renewal. You got to study anywhere from 3 to 5 hours before you take tests, 13 tests. I've got 4 or 5 left. I run out of time in 4 days and then I'll be late. And so I've got so many things to do. And not only that, working a full-time job and all that good stuff and bidding on other jobs and things like that. So it's hard and people are busy and it's hard you let these shows run too long. You just don't, the average view time is 20 minutes. You have an hour show and the average view time is 20 minutes. Anyway, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you hanging with me. Please come back. We will have better shows. And I hope you enjoyed yourself. Hey, hit the like button, the thumbs up.
Yeah, smash that like button.
Really, really important. Smash the like button. It lets the YouTube algorithm know that people are liking the show. So when people are searching for content, it encourages the YouTube to recommend our show. Here's one you can try. Here's 4 or 5 you can try, but one of them is Royce in the House. People like it. So that's what that does. And if you're not a subscriber already, I looked at my analytics and I go back and forth between having more subscribers, a few more subscribers watching my shows, or a few more non-subscribers. The last week or two, the non-subscribers outweigh the subscribers. And I hear that's common, but you know what? It doesn't cost 1 red cent to subscribe. And if you hit that notification bell, you get notified every time a show is going to come on. So you can have an opportunity, if you want to, have time to watch it. But if you subscribe, it doesn't cost anything, but it really helps and encourages the show and gets us more viewership because the YouTube algorithm wants to see us grow, to know that people are going to stick with it. So anyway, I want to thank you all for joining us. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And that's what's happening in Royce's world tonight. Thank you all very much. Bye, Kate.